Welcome to Scriptastics.com. In this tutorial video, I will be covering how to install, configure, and verify the proper installation of an Apache web server under Windows XP Professional. To get started, let's go to Apache's website, which is www.apache.org. Go to the HTTP server option here and download from a mirror. And we want to scroll down till we get to the Win32 binary, including OpenSSL MSI installer. Choose that file, save that file to your desktop. Okay, once it's done, you can clean that up, close the download window, close the web browser, and now to start the installation, we just double click on that MSI file, and that brings up our wizard. Just go ahead and hit next. Go ahead and accept the terms in the license agreement, and as you can see here, it's providing you with additional resources online so you can learn more about how to set up Apache the different ways. But for right now, let's just go ahead and hit next. And as far as the network domain name goes, just go ahead and call it localhost, and the server name localhost, and the administrator email, let's just call it admin@localhost. And for all users on port 80 as a service recommended, we're just going to go ahead and leave that option selected, which is the default port 80 for the HTTP server. Hit next. Now for the setup type, instead of typical, we want to choose custom, and we're going to go ahead and hit next. And this option here, build headers and libraries, we're just going to go ahead and install that as well for future functionality. For the installation of where we're going to install Apache, we're going to go ahead and change that. So what we're going to go do here is click on the down arrow, choose the local disk C, and inside the C drive we're going to go ahead and create a new directory. We're going to call it webdev. You don't have to call it webdev, you can call it something else. I just choose webdev for web development, and just go ahead and hit enter. And within the webdev directory, go ahead and create a new directory, call it Apache. And now you should have C:\\webdev\Apache. Hit OK. And now you should see here again, install to this directory, and go ahead and hit next. This is where it asks you here to install. Hit install. It's going through copying the files. Okay, and it's finished. Okay, now once we've installed it, now we just need to verify and make sure that it's working properly here. To do that, we're going to go to the web browser, and we're going to type in localhost, and we're going to hit enter. You get a message like this. That means it works and you're all set with that. Now, one thing I would recommend is that you make a bookmark of your web page here, so for future access, easy access, you can just come right to it. I put mine here under the toolbar, and I'm going to just name it localhost. So now if I'm browsing somewhere and I just want to come back to the localhost, I just click on the link and there it is. Okay, we can just go ahead and close out of that. Another thing I wanted to show you was the little icon here on the system tray. This is your Apache service. If you double click it, you'll see the Apache services which are currently running right now. You can stop it or you can restart it. So if you make any changes in the future, which will be covered in the other video for PHP on how to install it under Windows XP Professional, you will see exactly when you would use this restart feature. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of it. And another thing I wanted to show you is the actual directory where you're going to have all of your web content, which is under the C drive web dev folder under the Apache directory. And inside the Apache directory, you're going to have all your files, folders as well for the Apache web server. And inside of this, you're going to have an htdocs folder. This htdocs folder contains the directory of where you're going to store all of your web content. So right now, you don't need all of these files because eventually you're going to be placing your own files in here, but you can delete them. And that's basically it. This index file is the actual file that's being displayed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like using Notepad 2, which is a free editor you can download off the internet. And basically here is the same message that you saw when you tested the Apache server there. It says it works, and that's just letting you test it so you'll see that it works. But you can always modify this, edit this file, or you can just delete it and create your own file. It's not something that you need. But close out of that, and that basically concludes our video on how to install, configure, and verify the installation of an Apache web server. If you have any comments, suggestions, feel free to leave them. And thank you for watching this video.
Hello, in this video I am going to show you how to turn your Windows 7 client computer into a web server by installing the Internet Information Server. This feature will come in handy if you'd like to serve up web pages on a small scale to the internet, or even more likely have private web pages for your home office or small office environment, calling that an intranet. So we're going to start out by installing Internet Information Services. I'm logged on to my Windows 7 virtual machine running in VMware Player with administrative privileges. I'm then going to click on Start, and then I'll click on the control panel, and I need to go into Programs, Programs and Features, and then turn Windows Features on or off. The Windows Features dialog box comes up, and we can turn Windows Features on or off from here. And if I expand Internet Information Services and then expand the World Wide Web Services, I have the opportunity to check common HTTP features, which is important, health and diagnostics, which is important, and security, which is also important. From here, I also would like to add the management tools. So if I expand Web Management Tools, I can check the box to add the IIS Management Console. This will allow me to manage websites. I'm then going to click OK, and this is going to add these features to my Windows 7 computer. So I'll fast forward through this portion. Alright, our installation is complete. So let's close Control Panel, and we're actually going to go back into Control Panel, except we want to get into System and Security. And then we'll click on Administrative Tools. And here we now want to launch our Internet Information Services Manager, which is what we just installed. Inside of Internet Information Services Manager, you will see that I've got the name of my computer, BK-CL1. That is the name of the host computer. And if I expand that, I've got a sites folder, and if we expand sites, I've got a default website. This would be my internet website, and this would run on TCP port 80. If I also want to make an intranet site for sharing within my home office or small office, I can certainly do that by right-clicking on the Sites folder, left-clicking on Add Website, And now I'm going to call this site intranet. And the physical path for intranet is going to be in the default location of c:/inetpub slash www.root. And this is where IIS likes to store websites or web files by default. We now want to change the port, though, from port 80, which is an internet web address port, to port 4444, so this will not be accessible from the internet. Furthermore, you would have to know what the port is on your intranet to be able to view the web page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK and look at my summary page, and there I've got a default website and an intranet website. So this concludes my demonstration on how to install IIS and add a intranet website on a non-standard port. Please check back for another video on how to test IIS connectivity. This is brickhouselabs.com, and thank you very much for watching.
So today I'm going to show you how to install Internet Information Services on your Windows Vista machine. The first thing you want to do is you want to click the Pearl or the Start button and type in Programs and Features. And that'll pull it up in the menu, so you can click on it. And then you want to turn on Windows Features, turn Windows Features on or off. At this point you want to make sure you have your Vista DVD because it'll be important to have it so that you can install. I've already got mine in. We're installing Internet Information Services, which is basically how Windows Vista or Windows machines in general host web pages. This is a feature that's available on Vista Ultimate, the business versions of Vista. It's available on XP Pro, 2000 Pro, and all versions of Server. So I use this feature a lot when we have family reunions and I want family to come get photos, or I want to share files with friends. I give them my IP address and let them come get them off of my cable internet connection. You need to make sure you have your firewall properly secured so that no one can hack into your machine because you've opened this up. So this will give you a list of all of the Windows programs that are installed on your machine. There are options you can turn on or off individual features. I just do the generic one. And then we'll go through the install. And it's going to look for the Windows Vista DVD. I'm going to pause the video here and come back for when it finishes. So you can see it's just about to finish up right here. This will host simple web pages. It won't host complex web pages such as PHP or Java pages or Flash pages. For that, you'll need actually a more complex server. This would be the if this were a Macintosh or a Linux machine, this would be the equivalent of Apache. When it does install, we're going to see the local page. I'll show it to you, which I can pull up by doing localhost. As soon as this gets done, this window's just going to close right away. If you have a virtual machine, you can install Vista on it for 30 days to experiment with, and there are some complex features that I will not be showing in this video that you can try. If you don't mind tearing up a machine, then by all means install it, tinker with it, see what happens to it. I'm going to pull up a Notepad. So we're going to be using it to make a test web page. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to type in here, this is a test page. And I'm going to click File. So our page, when it just closed there. So add or remove Windows components just disappeared. So now what we can do is go to Start, and then My Computer, C drive, inetpub, www root, and you can see a page in here called IIS Start. So if I launch Internet Explorer, and type into it localhost, it'll pull up that IIS web page. I'm going to close programs and features as well. So type in localhost. That's the default installation page. If I click on it, it'll go to Microsoft's official website for IIS. But we're going to change that. I'm going to rename this page. Call it IIS Start 1. Continue. Continue. And then I'm going to save this text document that I was writing. File, save as. Browse for more folders. My Computer. C drive, inetpub, www root. and we'll call it index.htm. Got to put quotes around it, or else it'll save it as a text file instead of the HTML document that I want. So, save. No, I don't want to save it there. So I'll file, save. I'll save it to my desktop and then I'll put it in there. Continue. Continue. There we go. So the Notepad doesn't want to directly save into that folder. Go back to localhost. And there it is. This is a test page. That was the one that I just made. You can use OpenOffice to make pages. You can use lots of word editing programs. To manage the website, you can click Start, type in IIS, and that'll pull up the Internet Information Services Manager. And there's going to be a lot of complex settings going on here. So that's the name of my computer, and there are settings in here for it. And if I click on websites, the settings change on it in the middle section and on the right website section. So then if I click on the website, then I can set users, email settings, security permissions, things like that. Like I say, I encourage getting a virtual machine, running it on there, testing it out. And once again, this feature is available on Vista Ultimate and the business versions of Vista. So, thank you for watching.
Selamat pagi kawan-kawan. Hari ini saya akan melakukan eksperimen tentang Ubuntu Server pada VMware, yang mana ada sebuah isu tentang penggunaan memori pada VM tersebut. Saya di sini menggunakan Ubuntu 10.10 dengan spesifikasi di dalamnya ada Apache, MySQL, dan PHP 5. Untuk VM-nya sendiri, spesifikasinya dengan RAM 512 MB, kemudian prosesor 1 dengan core tiap thread-nya 1, harddisknya 10 GB, dan swap-nya saya setting di sini 3 GB. Di sini saya telah membubuhkan halaman aplikasi WordPress yang nantinya bisa diakses melalui alamat 192.168.176.132 WordPress. Isu memori dalam kasus kali ini, ketika halaman dari web WordPress ini saya lakukan refresh, maka nantinya penggunaan memori akan naik dan kemungkinan turun itu sangat lama. Oke, kita coba. Nah, sekarang terjadi hang pada VM. Saya tidak bisa masuk konsol. Dan web melakukan request yang tidak henti. Tidak ada respons. Kecuali kita melakukan reset pada VM. Ada beberapa spekulasi tentang kasus ini. Yang pertama adalah Apache. Yang kedua adalah MySQL query case. Yang ketiga adalah struktur arsitektur dari VMware tersebut yang tidak maksimal dalam memanajemen memori. Kita lihat top. Kita lakukan stop. Kita coba akses lagi. Oke, sudah bisa. Oke, kemudian coba kita refresh lagi. Bisa kita lihat di sini penggunaan memorinya sangat tinggi hingga mencapai batas maksimum dari alokasi RAM yang telah ditentukan. Oke, bagi teman-teman yang bisa atau mempunyai informasi tentang solusi akan kasus ini, silahkan bergabung pada diskusi kami pada tutopo.com. Dan kami berterima kasih atas partisipasinya dan diskusi yang kalian ikuti. Sekian dan terima kasih.